from the airport in Costa Rica. I'm in San Jose at the moment, and I'll show you. Hang on, I'm just going to show you out the window, but I can't do that. Out the window, we've got a screaming child, and there's a plane there, an Avianca plane, and there's the mountains behind it, which is quite cool. Now, there is now a screaming baby. There wasn't a screaming baby when I was setting up for this, but there is now. So that's new. Just a little update on my travels while we wait for people to file in. I left Panama yesterday around midday. Crossed the border into, well, it was about 1 o'clock Panama time. Crossed the border into Costa Rica, and then travelled down to Puerto Viejo, which is where the bus goes anyway. The bus to San Jose goes to Puerto Viejo first, then it goes to Puerto Limón, and then it goes on to San Jose, right? So I knew I was going to have to go through there anyway, so I got an earlier bus, stopped off. I had about an hour and a half to spare before the next bus that I had to get on, and I used that time to go and see my friends, Catherine and Dave, who I met, and I've stayed in touch with all these years, but I met 14 years earlier in a little guest house, well, the only guest house in Wewak, this village in Papua New Guinea. And it's quite an important part of my journey, Wewak, because it's where I broke the journey off in the December of 2011 when we found out that my sister had been diagnosed with cancer. So I went to Australia and spent Christmas and New Year in Australia just in case there was a phone call saying, Graham, you've got to come right away. And there was a phone call eventually saying, Graham, you've got to come right away. And so I, after 184 countries of the Odyssey expedition of traveling to all these places without flying, I had to fly home to be with my sister, and then I flew back to Wewak. And it was on the day that I returned to Wewak. And the only reason why I met Dave and Catherine is because I missed the boat to head back to a place called Madang. There's no road because you try and build a road in Papua New Guinea, it just gets washed away by the mudslide, by mudslides or earthquakes or volcanoes. You know, it's Papua New Guinea, and so we had to get a boat. And for some reason, on that particular day, it was the day that, the first time in my entire journey, that a mode of transport decided to actually leave on time. I couldn't believe it. I bought a ticket. I was sitting in a nearby pub having a drink, and I looked at my watch. It was like 5 to 1, and I'm like, oh, I better walk over to the boat, which when I took it to get to Wewak to continue my journey was 4 hours late leaving. Okay, it was 4 hours late. So I'm just meandering down to the dock, doopy-doopy-doo, and I literally get there to see the boat pull away, the ferry pull away, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm stuck here for the night. So I go to the only guest house in town, talk to the guy behind the counter, and I hear this voice behind me as I'm talking to the guy behind the counter, going, hey lads, are you from Liverpool? And red or blue? Just said red or blue, and I just turned around and I went, am I blue? And they went, yeah, so are we. It was 2 scousers sitting there. We were the only Westerners, probably in 100 miles in any direction. And we're all from Liverpool, and we all support Everton. Bizarre. Anyway, so we stayed in touch over the years, and what's quite remarkable is I saw them yesterday, and as I was leaving, I was writing on Facebook saying, I haven't seen Dave and Catherine for 14 years, almost to the day, because I remember it was near the end of September, right? Well, anyway, I looked it up on my blog, and it said September the 27th, which is today. And I wrote to Dave and said, bloody hell, mate, it was the exact day, 14 years ago, that we last saw each other, that we saw each other today. Because it's already tomorrow in Papua New Guinea. Because of the massive time difference. It's like 15-hour time difference between here and, it's 16 hours, a 16-hour time difference between Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, and Costa Rica. It's 7 hours difference here, so it's 7 o'clock in the morning here. I'm guessing it's 2 o'clock for you lot. Oh, look, there's loads of people here. This is really good. The words didn't come up as they normally do. I don't know why I've gone all dark. This is my hand came in front of the camera, and now the camera's like, I look like I'm giving evidence on Crime Watch or something. Greetings from New York. Hope your travels are going well. Oh, Colin, I'll be near you. I'll be near the state of New York, because I'll be in Toronto in a few hours' time, and I'm going to be there for the afternoon, well, for the evening, meeting up with my friends, Doug and Cliff. We're going out for a meal. I've suggested we go out for some Ethiopian food. I've got this real craving for Ethiopian food. I don't know why. And then I'll be getting on another plane and flying back to Manchester, going to Liverpool, meeting with my mum, giving her my clothes. That stink, by the way. And then I'll be heading straight to the late party conference. No rest of the wicked. I'm not going to get to see Catherine until Wednesday afternoon, so I hope you appreciate the dedication to the bullshit. That is my life. Dedication to going to Labour, stupid stuff. Veg Pie, just heard from Veg, if you're watching this, Veg, hi. Just told me that she can't make it this year, which is a real shame, because she's been in the last couple of years, and we've met up and gone to see some really good talks together, like Vicky McCure last year, talking about getting working class people into the media, into the arts. She can't make it this year. Never mind, but it means that there's one spare ticket going for anyone who wants to come to the talk that me and Phil are doing on Monday. We're doing a talk, me and Phil. I haven't mentioned it. I should have done. It's in the description. The link. Tickets are free. Just a friendly donation if you want to give it. I'm sorry. I've got to do something about this light. It's kind of annoying. Oh, there you go. Don't forget your hoodie. I'm wearing my hoodie. Look, I've got my hoodie on because it was freezing in here last night. I spent the night in the airport. So I got to San Jose about 10 o'clock last night, and then I got here. And when I was checking in on my phone, he said, "Do you want to check in one of your cabin bags for free?" And I was like, to put in the hold. And I was like, "Oh no, I don't need to do that." But then, as I was leaving Bocas, I thought I'll get a couple of bottles of Bocas hot sauce for my stepdaughter, because she loves it. She loves the hot sauce. So I got a couple of bottles, and they're 200ml. So you can't put them in your hand luggage, right? Alright, it's ready. The beeper's going. I think someone just died. So the sun's right now. I'll probably pick the worst possible place to do this. Let me just move over here a little bit. Would that help? Sort of. Very dramatically lit, aren't I? Look like I'm in some kind of like film noir bloody movie or something. Anyways, I'll try and stay in this shaft of light across my face. I get to the airport and there's no one here. It was just empty. Self-check-in things, for self-checking in. And there was no Air Canada people working here or nothing. So there was no one to say where to put my bag, And I would have had to wait in the outside, before the security all night if I was waiting for someone from Air Canada to turn up. So I was like, oh shit. And also they were doing building work in the foyer. So it was like this drilling noise that was just echoing through the whole of the building, or that part of the building anyway. So I was like, oh sod it, I'm gonna have to ditch him. So I had to throw away my Bocas hot sauce. Gutted, man. Because someone 20 fucking years ago tried to smuggle some explosives on a plane via liquid form, and they went, we're not having that. And you know what? I support that, that's fine. If you don't have the tech to be able to check whether something's water or not, then okay, yeah, or hot sauce, or shampoo, if it's over 100ml. I don't know what the technology is, but okay, fair enough. They've worked out the risk to passengers. I just wish they had the same sort of attitude towards, I don't know, dickheads racing too fast in their cars, or dickheads buying guns in America, just saying. But talking to people going nuts, right? Across the border, actually, I've been in before. Across the border, the minibus I got from Almirante, the main port going over to Bocas del Toro, to the border with Costa Rica. The driver just drove like a normal person. He slowed down to go around corners. I didn't feel like the bus was doing this, you know, to go around a corner. I didn't think he was Nigel Mansell or like Ayrton Senna. Do you know what I mean? Or fucking Max Verstappen. Just drove, and then across the border, and then the driver in that minibus also just drove normally. It was great. Went round a corner. I didn't do myself an injury. And then I got to Puerto Viejo, and I had to get a tuk-tuk to go and see Dave and Catherine, who were doing Boss, by the way. Dave writes books. He's written a book called The Third Liver Bird, and it's a kid's book about the third liver bird that flies away or something. So well worth checking out. Actually, it's a really good book for kids if you like all things Liverpool. Anyway, so the tuk-tuk driver's just driving normally. He's not fanging it around the corners. And then I get on the big bus from Puerto Viejo to San Jose. You know, and we were stuck in a traffic jam outside Puerto Limón for about 2 freaking hours, but I didn't care because I had loads of time to get here. You know, going to spend it overnight here in the airport. And he just drove normally. Like, I wasn't feeling myself getting flung from one side of the bus to the other every time he went round the curve. And I was like, oh, okay. So some people can actually drive like a normal person. I tipped them, by the way. I tipped everyone who drove normally. I tipped them and I said, this is for not driving like a maniac. And then I got in a taxi. From the bus station to the airport. And on the way here, I was screaming at the guy to slow the fuck down because he was just driving way too fast. He was going 70 miles an hour, like right up behind people on the main road. And I'm like, mate, will you slow down? Will you slow down? And he's like, oh, it's fine. I do this every day. And he's like, he's getting off on the fact that I'm terrified. Do you know what I mean? Because people who drive like that do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? They like making you scared because that's how they get their sick kicks. I don't know. But like, it was just nice. You know, we trotted along. I was in no hurry, middle of the night. You know, hardly any other cars on the road. But even when there were, he didn't go right up behind them and beep his horn and was like, you know, tailgating them like 1 inch behind their rear bumper. It was great. Gave him a tip as well. There needs to be some kind of like public information campaign, I think. Anyway, you've only got me for 20 minutes this morning, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk much politics. Because I've got to go on with the plane. Plane leaves at 8. And they start boarding 3 minutes ago. So yeah, I'll head over there in a moment. I had a good chat with Maximilian on Discord last night. That's cool, for not someone like Angry Pagan. Will Phil wear a suit? Just give me a second, I've just got to put the brightness on my screen because I can't see shit. There you go. Probably. I won't. Afternoon, quick drop in, says Kirsty. Hi Kirsty, how you doing? This is a quick video. This is a very quick video. Hello there, hey there's Pete's Music. If you like hot stuff, try Mr. Vickers, made in Penrith. Best mango chutney and lime pickle I've ever had, says Kirsty. I believe you. Trust me, I'm a curry head. What a great line. Someone says that to you, you know, like when just before you push you off the cliff. Trust me, I'm a curry head. I'll bring you some Carolina Reaper sauce on Monday. Graham, Amazon sent my order twice. Oh, that sounds good. Cheers, mate. Not today, Francis. Got to work on the bike before it rains, says Martin Harrow. Hi, G. Looking forward to the conference? No, not really. Not at all, actually. I was looking forward to seeing Veg Pie. And I'm looking forward to seeing Phil. I haven't seen Phil in real life for ages, so it'd be good to see him again. I'm looking forward to our talk. But as for the conference itself, Labour just pissed me off so much over the last year. You know, it's not going to be a very joyous occasion. And now that it's said they're bringing ID cards in, which a lot of people object to. Funnily enough, one of those fuckers, did you see, is complaining about that Labour doing the ID cards, virtual ID cards. And there's always a tweet, isn't there? So like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, they were tweeting, no, we need to bring in ID cards. Yeah. Whoa. Plane just took off. I can't even see that. I can't even see it because the text is on the screen. Okay, so yeah, I'm not particularly looking forward to conference. I haven't seen Catherine in a month as well, so, you know, all things being equal, I would have liked to have just gone back to Durham and just curled up in bed for a week, but also I want to get into my normal habit of doing shows and stuff. Obviously this month has been absolutely devastating for my usual revenue that I get in doing this stuff, and it's understandable. I normally do like 2 shows a day on average, and I've been doing like 1, and it's been a bit shit. So, you know, no diss for you, but also I've not been able to sort of prep it and do the animations, and also let you know that I'm going live before I do the live show, which is really important, which I can't really do on my phone, because if I do that, then the aspect ratio fucks up. There's nothing I can do about it. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. I might check that out actually when I'm at the conference, to see if I can set a talk in the future, right? And then I'm thinking maybe if I switch the orientation to portrait and then back to landscape again, I might be able to get it back to normal like this. This is normal aspect ratio, 16:9. Biologically speaking, says well, aren't we all biologically speaking one angry pagan? What jest. A new plane's turned up, a United plane. We're all united now. So I don't know what's going on in the world. I did check before I came on and just tried to take in what's going on. Trump's gone after Comey, hasn't he? We talked about that. Netanyahu gave a speech at the UN and everyone fucking walked out. And the BBC are like, some people walk out. No, like it was everyone. The picture of him addressing it is just so, like, if that was a stand-up comedian addressing that many empty seats, it would just be the last gig of his life. You know what I mean? Or hair life. So yeah, there's that, and obviously the ID card thing that Labour are bringing in, which Labour have wanted to bring in for 25 years now. This is not a new Labour plan, but I have my misgivings about it. A particular one is how trans people are going to be treated, and I want their ID to say, you know, who they are. I think it's absolutely mad that we have a less progressive attitude towards trans people than India. I mean, it's not great for trans people in India. We've got less progressive laws. We have less progressive laws than Pakistan. We've got less progressive laws than Iran when it comes to trans people. Countries where you're allowed to say, look, I don't want to be seen as a man or a woman. I don't want to be addressed as a man or a woman. I don't want to have my passport say that I am a man when I am not. And they go, okay, that's fair enough. It's easier to legally change your gender in Iran than it is in the UK at the moment. How fucking embarrassing is that? That should be the headline, shouldn't it? One Angry Pagan is the last chat I've got. So, oh, there you go. Don't mention bloody pagan. You might conjure up a turf. Yeah, indeed. It's like if you say Rowling's name 3 times in a mirror, she appears and tweeting about how we think they like trans people. Why didn't anyone walk out during the Cheetos rambling insults at the UN? I don't know. It's racist rambling insults, actually, where he stood up and said that we're having Sharia law in London. Because he knows, because he's been told by his racist mates, you know, that dickhead, what's his name, Elon Musk and that. He's been told, he's been coached, you know, what to say. God, say they've got Sharia law. What is Sharia law? Well, it's this thing where basically it's like, if you have a family dispute, instead of going to a court of arbitration in the British legal system, you can go to a court of arbitration within Islam. similar to other courts of arbitration that we've had in the church in the past, but you don't have to use that. It's not forced on anyone else. Just because you live in an area where there might be a Sharia court available for Muslim people who live in that area doesn't mean you are beholden to Sharia law in any way, shape or form. It's just bonkers. It's just like absolute madness. It's like people go, well, there's a monastery, and you're like, okay, there's a monastery, that's great. And you go, no, you got to understand there's a monastery. I'm like, okay, yeah, but the people in the monastery are following these rules that I don't want to follow. It's all right, mate, you don't have to follow them. You're not in the monastery. You're not a part of that particular religious sect. You can do what you like, as long as it's not against our actual law. But they seem to think that it's like 15-minute cities. It's like there's this thing that they think is something that it's absolutely not. They're like, what? I mean, I'll be able to walk to everything I need to get to. Does that mean there'll be walls every 15 meters to stop me, every 15 miles or something? There'll be walls to stop me going from one area of a city to another. Would there be walls? No, they're not going to build a wall. They're not going to make you have to have a pass to get out of your area. Where'd you get that idea? Oh, the internet. Every day is April Fool's Day on the internet. Anyway, you've got an extra 1 minute and 23 seconds out of me. Well done. We have Jewish courts here too. Yes, we do. We have Jewish courts. And we have rules for Jewish people that we don't have to follow. Kosher. We don't have to follow kosher. Like, if you're not Jewish, you do not have to. A lot of people I know who are Jewish don't even follow it anyway. I mean, it's only if you want to. It's kind of voluntary, It's one of those things. Anyway, so I am going to piss off now. Jump on a jet plane, fly on a big kitey over to Toronto, onto Toronto. So yeah, I'm gonna head out there now, and I hope you enjoyed having this little 22 minutes of me, and wish me well, wish me safe flying. As I head to Toronto, I'll be there for a few hours. Hopefully, if Mike is doing the Saturday night social tonight, special Saturday, he was at a wedding yesterday, so he couldn't do the Friday night social. If he's doing that, I will drop in from Toronto to say hi, because I should have landed in the plane out there. Colin says they've managed to make a boogie word out of Sharia, same as trans. Yeah, it's like halal. Halal is just like what you can eat, what you can drink. Like water is halal in the same way that kosher is the things that you are allowed to eat and drink. It's not forbidden. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you now. But before I do, I was just going to say thanks for watching. I'll see you when I'm in Canada, one way or another. And then, tomorrow we're going back to some semblance of normality. At least I'll be in the same time zone as the rest of you. So take care. And in the meantime, listen, you look out. Make sure you're all right, okay? Make sure you're all right before you start helping others, okay? Because if you're not good, you can't help anyone, okay? All right, now we got that sorted. Cheerioski, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. I'm going to move this round here, and I'm going to leave you with this lovely shot of the plane. There it is. Bye-bye. That's not my plane, by the way.